Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is a Dollar Tree shelf. Now this shelf is so affordable and super duper sturdy. If you saw my video from a few weeks ago, I made a quarter shelf, which is so cute and such a space saver, but I wanted to make one that was a little bit more on the basic side so that you can use it above your bathroom or as a little mantle and has more of a bookshelf type vibe to it. So I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel, and let's go ahead and get started. For this project, I'm going to be using these 3 wall plaques from Dollar Tree. Now, they are a very hard cardboard. They're definitely not wood, but they do the job and they're very sturdy. So I'm going to set them up next to each other to see if they fit, and now I'm going to flip them on their back sides to attach them. Now I'm going to be using 2 methods to attach them for extra security. The first method is using E6000 to initially attach them, and I'm adding a very generous amount. So to make sure that they're nice and flush up against each other, I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree binder clips. These are a lot sturdier and hold it in place better than the clips I used in my previous video. So I'm doing this to all of the pieces, and then once they dry after 24 hours, I am going to remove the binder clips, and as you can see, it is perfectly attached with no problem. So now I am going to reinforce this all by using this Dollar Tree hardware set. It's got nuts and bolts in it, so I'm going to be drilling 2 holes onto the side just to give it a little bit more reinforcement. If you don't have a drill at home, you can kind of just screw a nail in there, but it will take you a while, so definitely use a drill if you can. So now I'm just going to add my screw and make sure that I am tightening when I'm adding the back side. This is what's going to give it that extra security so that you don't have to worry when you're adding weight to the top of the shelf. And you can add another one if you'd like, that's totally up to you, but I thought 2 was enough because of the space. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of this frame using the exact same steps. And like I said, this makes me feel so much better about putting weight on this because I know it's not going to collapse in the middle. So now that that is done and you have a nice and sturdy foundation, you can go ahead and paint this piece. I actually ended up wrapping mine in Dollar Tree contact paper, so I just measured out the length of my shelf and I added some extra contact paper because this is going to go on the sides. And mine already has wrinkles, which really sucks, but that's okay because we can smooth that out. So once I cut it out, I am going to remove a bit of the backing to make this easier for myself. And I'm not going to add it to the end. I'm actually going to add it kind of to the table. And then I'm going to pull from the bottom. Pulling from the bottom as you smooth it out makes it a lot easier and avoids a lot of the wrinkles. You can also lift this paper up with no problem to remove some of the air bubbles and wrinkles. This is totally something that you can work with no issue. You can also do this in smaller sections if it makes you feel more comfortable, like doing the sides separately, but I kind of wanted to do this like a present. So once I finished the top side and it was nice and smooth, I made the edges really crisp. And then I kind of just folded the sides and the bottom. Even though some parts are wrinkled, you can always lift up and pull. And you can always pop air bubbles. It's really no big deal. So I'm adjusting until I get the look that I want and I get all of my wrinkles out. And now I'm going to work on the back side. So all of this I'm going to cut off, but in the meantime, I'm going to treat these sides like a present. So I'm going to cut the bottom. And everybody wraps presents differently, but it's all the same concept. You just want to tuck in the sides so that it's not bulky. So I'm cutting off the top because I really don't need that. And then I'm going to make 2 additional cuts so that I can put those pieces inward. So now to make life easier, I'm just going to put my shelf up and down so that I don't have to actually smooth it how it smooths out on its own when you do it this way. And with a box cutter, I'm cutting off the excess paper. So when I cut off all the paper on the inside, you will see some scraggly ends, which we will take care of later on. But like I said, you can avoid this part of the DIY by just painting yours. I just kind of like the faux wood look. You can also use contact paper from Home Depot or the peel and stick. It's so much easier. So now that we have this, we're gonna do the same thing to the other side, treat it like a present, fold those pieces in, and bam. So this is what your shelf should look like, and you can keep straightening out any pieces that look a little funky. And I'm gonna be using these Dollar Tree plant brackets. This is how they're supposed to be used. I wanna use them this way, but you can't because it's too long. So I'm gonna be using them facing this way. Now there's no holes for it to drill to the wall. So the holes are here, and I wanna make sure that the holes are right here. So I'm gonna make 2 marks on each of my brackets where I want holes to be. Then I'm gonna drill my holes using a drill bit that isn't wider than my screw, but where my screw still fits in. And as you can see, my screw fits perfectly. So now that I have both drilled, I'm gonna grab my E6000, and I'm gonna be using this little piece right here to guide me so that it's perfectly straight. So I'm adding my E6000 to the bottom and to the side, and then I'm pushing up against that. Like I said, don't worry about the scraggly pieces. Later on, we'll take care of that. So now that these are in place, I'm gonna let them dry really well for 24 hours. To clean up the scraggly pieces of the contact paper, I just added additional glue and folded them down using the binder clips. Everything stayed nice and in place and looks so much neater. So now I removed all of the binder clips and everything should be perfectly dry. And when you flip it up, everything is nice and sturdy and ready to go on your wall. So when you're ready to put it up, make sure that it's leveled and just drill them in those holes you made, and bam, you have a fully functional shelf. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time.